Okay.
What do you want me to press? Continue.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to another edition of the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen, our virtual experience. I am Chef Alfonso Dixon. This is Chef Stephanie Rose, and today we have a divine recipe for you. It's early. Well, it's not so early. It's 11 o'clock, right? So it's a good time. But it's a great time for a strata. Am I correct? A strata?
Strata,
Strata. Strata. I always say it wrong.
Frittata, frittata.
Casserole, whatever. It's a great time for it. This special strata features Canadian bacon, spinach, and tomatoes. Can you say delicious? So without further ado, I once again want to welcome you and thank you all for joining us. I'm going to pass it over to Chef Rose. If you have any questions, I will be down in the comments answering all of your questions. I can't wait to see how this delicious recipe turns out. Chef Rose, over to you.
It's going to turn out great. Thank you, Alfonso. And welcome, everybody. And yes, for me, it's early. Usually we don't do our classes until the evening. So we, did us doing a special one today because I know there's a lot of very special people out there today, including all of you. So welcome to the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen in my home. And this morning I happen to have some family here today. I've got my son over there, and I've got my daughter. She's 18 already. Ay, ay, ay. And this is a wonderful dish that I know you're going to all enjoy. And as Alfonso always puts it, it puts the, what do you say, Alfonso? It puts the simple
cooking with heart. There
right.
We go.
This is a classic breakfast casserole. It's something you could make the day before. I mean, just let it sit in the fridge and, voila, first thing the next morning at dark 30, you pop it in the oven and everybody's going to be blown away and they're going to love it. And of course, the best part about this one is heart healthy. So without further ado, let's get started because I want to show you how easy peasy this really is going to be. I guess I could start with some Canadian bacon. Now we chose Canadian bacon because we want something that's lower in sodium and also a lot lower in fat. Maybe Alfonso can help me with the exact amount, but I'm guessing 1/3 of a cup maybe. Okay. Well, I'm just going to stack these babies.
You're right. It's 1/3 of a cup. I had to go back and check it.
Now, and I was thinking about this. If you're not a pork fan, so what are some other options? Well, you could just omit it, but you could also substitute a little bit of smoked turkey, right? That would add a really nice element to it, and it's not pork. So I'm cutting this up into nice, thin little strips, and of course, you don't have to get it all thin like that. And of course, I forgot to tell you how to hold your knife. Okay, for all you newbies out there, let's get the basic. How do we hold our knives? Okay, put your thumb all the way up the end of the blade. There's actually a nice little indentation here. Okay, there, your thumb goes on that side. Make sure your pointer finger goes on the other side. So theoretically, you're pinching it, and it gives you a lot of control, and then your other 3 fingers should fit, my hands are tiny, around the handle, okay? And if the knife you have feels a little bit big, use a smaller one. But I do recommend using an unserrated. So, we can get into that another day. So this should give you maximum control, okay? And make sure you got a sharp knife. So I've cut everything into nice little strips, and then I'm gonna line them up. If you wanna make a smaller pile, hopefully you can see can you see on the overhead? Is that guy working? Anybody?
Yes, it's working.
Wonderful.
It's working.
Yeah, we're getting snazzy here. You know, we got the overhead cam. One of these days, I'm going to get one of those guys to be filming me so we can get some close-ups. Okay, so you see how I'm just slicing nicely, and my other hand is in this claw kind of form. And really, it just controls my little pile. And then I can just scooch, 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 scooch back. And so I've got a nice little brunoise of Canadian bacon, which is my favorite. And that's gonna go plop into the bowl. So I've got a bowl over here, and actually this makes it really easy. Everything's going in this bowl. Love it. So dice this all up. And I hope everybody who's cooking with me has their mise en place together. And that's just a fancy term for all of your ingredients. You should have them all in front of you, measured out, and it really streamlines this whole process. I don't know about you, but sometimes in the morning I'm a little bit, not awake yet. This might be a little bit more than a third of a cup, but I've got a lot of people here today. So we've got our lovely Canadian bacon, and then we're also cutting up 3 slices of, pick a nice whole grain bread if you can. I found some beautiful bread here just to give you an idea of what it looked like ahead of time, and I just used 3 slices, pretty much this size. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm dying to have a bite of that. And it also comes in a loaf brand, multi-grain. So, and I have cut it up into little cubes. And I'll show you just how easily that's done. I'm not cutting off the crust either. The crust is good, okay? So again, if you're gonna cut up your bread now, just cut it into little slices. Normally I actually don't get it already sliced bread. I get a loaf and do them myself. Remember, I turned it, so I've got nice little cubes. And the crunchy bits are kind of nice because it's going to add a little, texture. So, yes, darling?
I'm just observing.
It's my daughter, Natalie. Well, come say hello. Don't be a stranger. So I'm going to just go ahead and throw those in my pot here. We actually made one a little bit earlier. I'm not going to put it all in because then that would be too much. So, okay, put that in. Getting everything all mixed up. What else? What else? Ah, tomato. So it did call for 2 Rome tomatoes, but I don't have any Rome tomatoes. And I think one of the beautiful aspects of this dish, this quiche-less, crustless quiche, if you want to call it that, is you can put so many things in it that you have in your refrigerator. I was almost thinking, wow, I have a ton of frozen broccoli. Why not? A little bit
Yum.
of broccoli. It's so good for you. If you don't have tomatoes, you could use some out of the can. There's nothing wrong with low sodium canned tomatoes, except I would recommend that you drain them out of the juice. So, because you don't want too much of the liquid, even though I do love it. All right, so I have a very ripe, almost overripe tomato, and I just want to cut this up. I'm going to quarter it, because I'm thinking I might take out the seeds. Okay, so I quartered it. This one's a little bit bigger. Quarter that one. And I might just do a nice little brunoise. My daughter's drinking all my water. Don't drink all my water. Well, she can always get me more. So I have nice little quarters. Does it say to seed it?
Let me double check really quick.
I can't remember if it says to take the seeds out or not.
No, it just says to dice it.
It just says to dice it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how much I love this wonderful, I call them the hearts that are inside. of the tomato. Look at that. Look at that
Can
gorgeous.
you tell them about that little trick you told me the other day on what you do with the heart of the tomato when you take it out?
I mean, look at this is nature's like gelatin right here. If you can see it, beautiful. I actually will mash it all up and put it in a bowl with a drizzle of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, salt and pepper, and then I make a vinaigrette. So it's like a tomato vinaigrette. But these are just, look at these gorgeous hearts. Or sometimes I just pop them in my mouth and eat them. Oh, they're delicious. There's no sense in wasting it. So this is quite a bit of a ripe tomato. My skin is a little soggy, but that's okay. So I'm gonna cut that up, cut up my hearts. I'm gonna use everything and pop that in. So there is this white part on the tomato, like where the core is. We wanna kind of cut that out. I mean, you can cut the core out at the beginning with a little paring knife if you feel so inclined, but we don't want to eat the core, so I'm going to cut that out. Cut it out. Now I have some wonderful spinach, and we love spinach in this house, let me tell you. So I almost always have some in the freezer. If I don't eat it all fresh, I will steam it actually in the bag, just pop the whole thing in the freezer, and voila. You know, whole bag usually gets what? You know, maybe 1 cup of spinach when you're done with it.
Right. That is so true.
So, and this dish actually, if you're following the recipe, it says to do it in a casserole dish. Now, I chose not to do it in a casserole dish today because I thought it would be kind of cook faster, first of all. And, you know, I like the fact of having little individual portions. So we'll have two options I'm going to show you. Look, that's a lot of tomato. So I'm just going to use my knife, scoop that up. Going in. So going into my lovely bowl. Okay, what do we have next? Some green onions.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have any super gorgeous green onions this time, like I usually do. But I don't want to waste anything. So it was very easy just to clean them up a little bit. I just cut off the ugly part, and then I cut off the little, whatchamacallit, you know, the hairy part, the root, just cut a little bit of it off. And if any of the green part was just kind of old and dried up and gnarly, I cut that off too, but not a lot. Now this called for 4, but since these are kind of small, so I might use a little daring. See how this one, you know, if it doesn't look good, you just pull the whole strand off. And then you can continue to take the rest of it off down here at the end. Just requires a little bit more work, you know, because we can eat the whole thing. Maybe one more, like I said, because these are a little bit small. There we go. So what I usually do is I cut off the white parts just because they're more manageable to cut like that. And then I have the other green parts over here. There's a white one, go there. And then I can cut these up separately. So again, I have it in a nice little pile. Make sure it's manageable. So I'm gonna start with 3. And we're just going to, if you can see, I did change my grip on my knife. So I scooted my hand down. So I'm not pinching the blade here. I just scooted the hand down, further down the handle. With my other hand, I'm going to put it Well, I think I'm still going to hold on to these so they stay together in my little claw. And then I just carefully, don't rush, slicing them as finely as I can. And unless you want big chunks, that's fine too, of green onions. And if you don't have green onions, use a regular onion. Use a shallot. And then if you don't have any of that, just put in a little bit of onion powder. That can always suffice. So there's a million different kinds of onions out there. Just don't use onion salt. You know, we're trying to cut out the salt as much as we can because we are getting a little bit of sodium. Actually, we're getting a lot of sodium in the cheese. So keep that in mind. So I have these nice little white parts. Oop, put them in. And now I can cut up the green ones. Same way. So I hope y'all are gonna be cooking and baking this. We're gonna get this in the oven. And it's supposed to cook for like 45 minutes. But that's if it's in a big tureen, casserole dish. So there we go. Everybody keeping up? Try not to go too fast. If not, I can certainly slow down.
I think you're going great.
Wonderful. Now, I love Jarlsberg cheese. It's one of my favorites. I have a little here to show you. It comes in a nice big chunk. And I always recommend to buy the chunk. Obviously, you can get all of these cheeses now, grated, pre-grated. The only trouble with that is that there's always going to be other ingredients in the grated cheese, a little bit of cellulose, anti-caking. This is all cheese. It's all milk, and I just like the whole thing, and it's kind of pretty anyway. So I did pre-grate some for us, because my daughter wouldn't. That's her least
liked job.
That's her least favorite job. She didn't want to grate. She didn't want to clean the stove. So we compromise, all right?
I cubed the bread.
So being that she doesn't like the Jarlsberg, I think you could go ahead and use a different cheese of your preference, maybe a little Parmigiano Reggiano, a little bit of low sodium cheddar, if you can find it. But again, do pre-grate it, grate it yourself and not save a little so we can sprinkle some on top before we put them in the oven. So we're going to have some kind of, bubbly cheese happening on top. Okay, now we need some basil. Now the basil this time of year, I'll be honest with you. Natalie, show me. I looked in the stores, I send my husband everywhere. I'm like, that's not good. Send that back. Give me some more.
Is this what you want?
It's the end of the season now.
The ugly basil?
Yeah. Isn't that attractive? And these aren't cheap. So it's always better to buy the basil in season, and you can dry it yourself. I will take the leaves and lay it out on a paper towel and put it in the microwave on low a couple of times, and you'll see it dries out beautifully. So try not to let it go to waste. And again, if you can't get the fresh, you can use the powder. That's absolutely fine. You don't want to use basil, you can't find that. Parsley, I love the parsley. And it's full, they're all full of nutrition. So I think we actually got a good amount of basil. Check it out. Thank you, Natalie. She picked out all the beautiful leaves. So there is a very special way to cut up fresh basil. That's the fancy French technique, where we layer all the beautiful leaves into a little pile, and then you roll that little pile up. Okay, so you have a nice little cigar. And then get your knife again, hold it, like I said, with the claw. And then we're just going to slice it as thin as you can. Because if you're using a dull knife, and if you slice it too early, the basil will turn black, and that we do not want. So here we have, and the fancy term, chiffonade. So now you can brag to your friends that you know how to do a chiffonade. I just like saying it. And if you get a little bit impatient and don't want to pile them all up as perfectly as I just did, just do the best you can. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the jam pile. The jam slam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And it's going to work just as fine. And hopefully they won't be black. Now, it calls for a lot of basil. So here's the last one, doing that fast technique. See, it rolls up just fine. Sharp knife is the key. All ready? Sharp. There we go. Beautiful. How do y'all like that overhead cam? Fancy schmancy's going in. So I'm getting a nice, good amount of good stuff in there right now. What else do I need to add? Spinach. Spinach. So, I mean, spinach is really easy to find. You can always find it in the frozen section of every store, I think, that I've pretty much been in. I think you can even find it in a can. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like fresh. And this was just a beautiful, this is spinach. This is not baby spinach. This is just real, fabulous, healthy, dark green, full of nutrients spinach. I absolutely love it. So if you're buying it in this form, you want to take the leaves off and just sort of pull out that stem, okay? And I've already done most of this, so throw that away. So just, just requires a little bit more time. You don't have the time, you go ahead and get it in one of those packages, and that's fine. But I wanted you to see how beautiful it is. And this mature spinach is just as delicious as the baby spinach, okay? It's fabulous. So I think you're supposed to use about 10 ounces. And I brought it out in this dish because I wanted you to see. I mean, this would be a nice dish to bake it in, if you had the time. It's a good size. But again, like I said, it takes 40 minutes. So we're not using that. But I wanted you to show you the fresh spinach, what it looks like. And then see, I'd put that in the microwave, or you could steam it, these are all very, easy things to do. Really, really want it cooked. So here's some of the finished spinach. And what you want to do after you've cooked it or steamed it, or even if you've taken it out of the freezer, you want to thaw it. And then you do want to squeeze it out, because the spinach has a lot of, you can see it all coming out, right? A lot of liquid, and you don't want all that green liquid going into your dish. Okay, I've squeezed out a good amount. Look at that. Look at all that. And this is probably the second time I've done it. And then you could cut it up, but sometimes I'll just take my scissors and just chop it up with the scissors. Like I said, or you could just put it on the cutting board and mash it up into a pile. But look at all that. That's a lot of liquid. I guess I could drink it. No, I'll put it in a smoothie. I'll put it in my green monster smoothie that we're going to make for Halloween. All right, so I am just going to go over this just a bit with my knife, okay?
Stephanie,
Yes, see.
I have I have someone who said they are doing their strata in a cupcake tin with paper inserts, which is great in theory, right? But do you remember the first time we did that in the kitchen?
I do, and that's why I have the cupcake tin. Sadly, I do not have a very beautiful cupcake tin. So when we did it before, we sprayed the tin, but they still, boy, they stuck like
Glue.
very hard to get out.
Yes.
I definitely recommend if you are using one of these, a tin like this, that's probably a good idea to line it with your little cupcake liners, okay? So I'm gonna do a couple like this, and we're gonna see how they turn out. And I'm also going to put some in some ramekins. So we're changing it up here. But even if you do use these little paper tins, I'll show you when we get to that. But let me get this concoction finished. Everything is ready. I need to add my 1 cup of egg substitute. Just dumping it all in, okay? And I believe we have a 1.5 cups of low-fat milk. Boop. Got it all in here. I'm gonna stir this up. See, sometimes you could, if you made this the day before, all of your bread, everything, and you can use stale bread. It's all gonna get nicely. Sweetheart, could you give me my ice cream scoop? Thank you. The bread is gonna absorb the liquid and the egg, and it actually, when you're cooking it and you let it rest overnight, it might have this kind of a souffle reaction, and that's just kind of it's a very nice aspect.
What size do you want?
Big one.
The biggest one?
Yeah, a big one. Nice.
3 options.
Oh, thank you. Lovely. I love that one. That's my favorite one. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Last but not least, pepper. Go for it. Fresh cracked black pepper. Always a super addition. I don't usually measure it. I need the exercise. This is very good. You know, hand-eye coordination, right? You know, and fresh black peppercorns last for years in your cupboard. And it's very good for your digestion. All right. Woo! That is ready to go into. I'm going to show you. I've got the 2 different containers. I'm going to put a little bit in. I hope everybody turned on the oven. Did I remind everybody to preheat your oven? I believe
They know now.
Yeah, don't do it now. So I have all these wonderful little ramekins, you know, and it looks really cute in a ramekin as well. And then you don't have to worry about getting it out. I think one of the reasons, you know, we did it in the cupcakes is it was just easier for people to take home. But we're gonna do both, so don't worry. Either or, whichever one you're doing, get your spray out. I used to never use this stuff, but now I love it. Spray away, okay? I'm talking spray, and then spray some more, okay? And you're gonna do the same with your little cupcakes. What the heck? I'm spraying everywhere in these cupcakes. I'm in and out, and because sometimes it's hard to get the paper off.
It is.
No, we don't want any of that. Okay, so just spray, 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 spray. So I got 6 of those. We'll see how. I'm not quite sure how many of these. You remember how many they made in the
I want to say they did like a dozen.
we filled up the whole thing.
I believe so.
Okay, good. So I went and got my ice cream scoop because I always find that that's a really easy way to get everything out, and less messy, and just make sure you keep kind of turning everything over. You don't want you want to get a full mixture of everything. Okay, so we're going around. Try not to fill them up too high in your cupcake molds. Like I said, they puff up. Okay.
Can you lift one of those ramekins up just so they can see, I guess, just about where you filled the line?
Well, I haven't finished filling them up. I don't know. I'd say 3/4.
3/4? Okay.
That's usually, or 2/3. That's kind of like the standard, I think. We got some in here. Now I saved a little bit of the cheese on the side to put in. I remember when we first made these. It's like, what? Like, what am I doing? Here we go. Well, I think the great thing about investing in, there's many great things about investing in a cupcake tin. I think everybody should have a cupcake pan, whether you're making cupcakes or not, because they're great for many quiches. Okay. Believe it or not, this recipe serves 4. Can you believe that?
Damn.
To me, it's looking like this is going to serve more than 4. But there we go. Putting a little bit more in here. Make sure they're all kind of nice and even. Drizzle a little more liquid on some of them if you got it in there. Oh wow, I think I have enough for one more. Okay. We'll see how he works out. Uh-oh, spray, spray. It's gonna be super eggy. Here. Okay. Empty bowl. Now, how about a little more? You saved your cheese. Go ahead and put a little bit more on the top. Everything always looks more yummy when you've got a little bubbling cheese on top. Makes me feel kind of decadent. So, whoop. I almost used the broccoli. I had broccoli in one of my classes.
What stopped you? I love broccoli and Strata.
My daughter wanted cheese.
Oh.
Daughter wanted cheese. Okay. Woohoo. So, how's everybody's oven?
Hot.
Now, it said 350. I put mine at 400. And I think these are ready to go in. Maybe a little bit more fresh cracked black pepper. And if you're kind of like me, I would almost put a little, I like cayenne pepper. I just think that adds just that little je ne sais quoi at the end. So I've got my oven. It is at temperature. These babies are going in. Don't keep your oven open too long, because then you're letting out all the heat.
Wait.
Let's set our timer maybe for, let's say 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Check
good.
it in 10.
10. I always forget to set the timer. But I think we have chefs, we have a good inner
It's a
timer.
feeling.
Yeah. Unless it's that timer that's not working too well, especially like with me and nuts.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Oh no, I smell the nuts. That's it.
Burnt.
When you smell the nuts, it's too late. So I was thinking, let me get some of my water. Still drinking coffee. I don't think I finished my. Give me 1 second. I think Natalie, sweetheart, my computer is low battery. Oh dear, my list, everybody.
Oh, no.
Now, what would be a nice, what do you want to serve with this dish in the morning?
I would do a nice like arugula salad, honestly. Even in the morning, it would be really simple, a nice brunch kind of thing. I think it would be perfect.
I think there's so many things. No, put it in. Yeah. Put it back in. How about an orange? I think that nice citrus, fresh orange, little segmented salad, on the side would be divine. Bring me my little crystal bowl. So actually, I thought while that's in the oven, I wanted to show you how to supreme an orange. So that means we're going to get those beautiful segments out of the orange. It's called my pretty little bowl. So this is a very big orange. You could also do it with a grapefruit. So you can also buy these already done in little cups at the grocery store. So, keep that in mind, but just make sure when you do buy some that they're not in syrup, okay? Make sure they're in a natural juice, okay? So let's see if I can do this. I haven't done this in a while. So I'm gonna cut off the end. Not too much, but make sure it's enough. And if it doesn't look like this, Natalie, you might need to give me another orange. I'm not liking how this one looks. Cut off that other end. Sadly, can y'all see this? This orange doesn't look good. Looks a little, I'll try it. Okay, I'm gonna I'll give it a try anyway. I hate wasting good food. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm cutting off the rind, all of it, and the white pith. Okay, so I'm trying to get that off as well. I just want all of the open orange segments revealed. The big reveal. You don't want to cut off too much of the orange either. Was there another orange in there, sweetheart?
Not one that looks good.
Oh, we'll bring it out anyways. You never know.
It was little and pale.
Sometimes they look ugly on the outside, and then sometimes they're beautiful on the inside. And grab me my paring knife, sweetheart.
Ooh, this one's like, no, this is the only one left. It's not safe.
That's the only one?
I think so.
No, it only looks bad because I used the zest.
I can't tell if this is an orange or a grapefruit.
I know. I think that's an orange.
Okay.
Okay. And my paring knife. Sometimes this is a little bit big, but now if you can see where the segments are open and where that outer skin is. Thank you. Sweetheart, thank you. And now you're going to cut along the skin side on either side. And then you're going to pull out this beautiful segment of orange. And then actually sometimes it's better to do it over a dish. Usually there's a bunch of juice that comes out and you want to capture it. So here we have beautiful segments of orange. And you could do this with the grapefruit as well, you know, or just have a little side of tangerine. There we go. This is a labor of love. I only do this for my dear family or myself when I'm feeling like treating myself to something special. Now, another nice thing that my mother used to do when I was growing up is she would get a grapefruit, you know, cut that grapefruit in half, drizzle a little honey on it, and put it in the oven. So that would also be really lovely to go alongside this wonderful meal. So then you just got everything up in the oven and you don't have to worry about it. And this size, you know, satisfies your sweet tooth. Now check this out. Ooh. All right. So beautiful. Look at all that juice coming out. So I had faith in this orange. And I'm not going to waste a perfectly good orange because they're expensive. So lots of juice coming out. And let me see if it's sweet. Tastes delicious. All right. Back over to you. I'm going to rinse my hands off a little bit. Now, uh-oh, I lost my assistant. Natalie! I want to show you what the other one looked like that we cooked a little bit earlier. I hope everybody has theirs in the oven, yes?
Yes.
So you can peek at it if you have a light on in your oven. Peek, peek, peek. You'll know when it's ready because it'll puff up a little bit and it won't be jiggly. So that's how you can tell. You don't need to keep going in there and checking it a million times because, you know, every time you open up that oven, the heat's coming out. So, well, maybe I'll supreme the grapefruit. Let's see how this one looks. Okay. Because I love grapefruit. Oh my goodness. Grapefruits never used to be this sweet. That is a very interesting thing about grapefruits. They have definitely changed over time, and now they're just so much sweeter. You almost don't need to put any honey on them. So you're getting two demos of this. Look how gorgeous this one is. Look at that color. That's beautiful. Beautiful. We definitely want to get our fruits in. A little bit of fruit. We're getting a little bit of whole grain in this dish. You know, we're getting some protein in the cheese and the eggs. So this is really kind of constituting a complete meal, which is something that we believe is quite important.
Absolutely.
For our diets. Sometimes I forget to add the green, and I get upset with myself. I have a meat and potatoes family, so just make a conscious effort. You know, get that spinach out. You know, get that kale out. Experiment with new greens that are fantastic. I don't know if you've taken some of our classes, but we had escarole we have used, which is fantastic. You want to get out the finished one, baby?
This
How's
one?
it? Yeah, how's it looking?
The cheese isn't fully melted yet.
Oh, you want to start up? Here's your plate.
Give it one more round of ticking.
One little minute. There we go. It's a bit of a rainy day today. Okay. Uh-oh.
The oven's yelling at you.
10 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to the smaller paring knife. Let's see, sometimes it's just easier to get. And this one's oozing all over the place. Now, if you really must put some sugar on, go for the sugar substitute. You know, the stevia is really nice. Or if you don't like honey, you could always use a little bit of agave instead.
Yes,
I happen
I
to.
love agave.
I love agave too. I was never a big honey fan. All right, some of them aren't going to be perfect. I'm okay with that. So this is actually makes for a very pretty color combination. This one's dripping all over the place. Has anybody looked in the oven at their Stratas? Alfonso?
I can only see faces, but I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure someone
we
has.
encourage you guys to cook along with us. Okay, this one I lost my patience. Ooh, oh, check this out. All right, let me move this.
This one's personalized to my liking.
Wait, don't put it here, don't put it here. We have the sample. Natalie was starving. So I'm like, okay, let's do one. And here we go. This one just came out of the oven. And I hope you can see it. It's really kind of cute in a yum, yum, yum. Got it right. Okay, I'm going to look at my other ones. They are not ready yet. Now, depending on what kind of oven you have, you might want to turn them a little bit. Usually halfway through the cooking, I will give it a 180. And then if you did want to broil the cheese on top, you could do that a little bit later, but I try to stay away from broiling because that's just another opportunity for me to burn something. Because I forget. So here you have a beautiful, delicious breakfast that of course you can cook, get it ready, have it all prepped in your refrigerator, and then just pop it in the oven in these cute little ramekins. I have ramekins coming out of my eyeballs, or the cupcakes. So either way, they will all work out beautifully. And maybe next time we will try this with a crust. So this is definitely a healthier option than a crust. But I think we do have some crust options as well. Some recipes that maybe we'll get to. Ooh, look at that one. That one looks beautiful.
That's really pretty.
Okay, yeah, of course this one's gorgeous. My second one looks terrible from the outside and it's beautiful in the inside. Don't judge a book by its cover. Always. So if you feel like making something for your loved ones, I can tell you one thing, I would be ecstatic if somebody brought this to me in bed. Right? Delicioso. So y'all want to wait around for the other ones to come out? I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I'll give it another couple minutes. Let me peek at it again.
That looks so great, chef. Like amazing. It's making me hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet.
Oh, I can't eat this one because this one's for Natalie.
Oh.
Dibs.
I'm sorry. You can see a good overhead of it.
Yes, I just came out of a great overhead of it. That's what
Okay,
made me so hungry.
Well, I'm going to allow my daughter to eat this because she just came home from school first thing this morning
Left at 7:45 a.m.
to help me. So
Oh, that's so sweet.
here you go, baby. Okay, no, you may just have to eat it here. I want to know how it tastes. I want to see you eat some. Come on,
I don't
come
know
on.
if I want to eat on camera. I don't know if
Just
that's-
have a bite.
Do we think it's hot?
Do I think it's hot?
I
I
don't
hope
know.
it's hot.
I don't know.
It's not too hot to hold.
I don't know. I was scared. I was hesitant.
Now she wanted hers with a little bit of cheddar. So this is what it takes to get her home. I'm doing it.
It's good.
Well, you heard it here first, everybody. It is delicious.
It's
It
yours.
looks great. I want one so bad.
You see if I can just give you a peek at what the others look like. So you can see how they're coming.
Oh, they're
You
so
can see
cute.
they're still a little bit wet, jiggly, jiggly. So they need more time. And remember, I'm on 400 too. And these other ones, see how these are looking. Whoa. Okay, heavier than I expected. Again, still jiggly, but they're getting there. So I'm gonna have a lovely breakfast this morning. And actually, you could even save them. I think you could freeze them. I think they make a wonderful, on the go. Grab that little, cupcake quiche, put it in your lunch, have it for lunch, have it for breakfast that day. And I don't know about you, but where I come from, this is also a dinner. So, quiche for dinner is absolutely acceptable. I think a lot of times people forget. You don't even have to call it breakfast for dinner. I mean, we're having quiche. It's very European.
Very much so.
So, any questions? Because these aren't going to be done, and I think we might run out of time. I will certainly take a picture of them when they do come out of the oven.
So I do have one question, and it just made me think of something.
Yes.
For instance, say your oven isn't working. Is there another alternative method on how you would execute this dish? Say toaster oven, maybe a microwave, something, air fryer, something like that.
Alfonso.
Say it again.
All the above. You could absolutely do this in a toaster oven.
Okay.
We just pulled ours out of the toaster oven. Actually,
Okay.
I love toaster ovens. You could technically almost do it. Oh, now she wants this.
Technically in the microwave.
I'm losing my food here. You can totally do this on the stove top too. Okay. Now you do have to be a little bit careful. You probably have to put a lid on it.
Yeah.
And do it slowly. The bottom is definitely going to get a little bit harder. But that works too. And microwaves, if that's what you got. Eggs, funny though. Sometimes it explodes.
Yes. So you want to be really careful about that.
That's so much fun. Yeah, when the egg explodes. So if you are putting it in your microwave, cover it. And I highly recommend learning how to do the microwave on lower power. It's really not a good idea to do it on 100% power. So I would do it a little more slowly on lower power. Say, let's start out at, 5 minutes at 50%. So it's not that hard, but most microwaves have that selection. But heck, if all you got is 100% power, cover that baby up. Yeah. Do it for 2 minutes,
Definitely.
turn it 2 minutes more, and it should come out fine. I mean,
Definitely.
that was a great question
Yes.
because it's wonderful to be able to do this in different ways.
Hmm.
Actually, the
And
Spanish do it in a pan. You know, the frittata's in a pan, but usually we finish it in the oven.
yes.
So
And the reason we asked, because I definitely saw you all's chat. Don't think I was ignoring you. I just wanted to make sure Chef and I was on the same page with this. So if your oven isn't working, if the toaster oven is what you have, or all you have is a microwave, I definitely want to encourage you. There is a way to get every recipe done. I don't care what cooking method you use or utilize. It's definitely a way to get this done, especially because it's so simple to make. You
right.
definitely only need something like a microwave, toaster oven, or a regular oven, whatever. So I definitely hope that you all have made this dish or are participating in doing so. This was great. It looks divine. I can't wait. I actually might make this for breakfast myself. Let me see what's in my fridge
Well,
so
if
I can
let me see,
execute
we'll
this.
tell you where we're going.
I can't wait.
They are
So,
starting.
ooh, let me
They're
spotlight that.
starting.
Nice.
So it's almost there. And look how beautiful that is, right? And
Yes,
you see how
gorgeous.
it started to puff up a little bit? So mine are almost ready. Um, I don't know what time that was we put them in there, but obviously it's more than 10 minutes, even in the
Mhm.
cupcake.
Even
Okay.
in the cupcake.
Yeah, so it's probably more like 15 to 18 minutes. Okay, if you're concerned about timing things, and that's understandable, but you'll know when it's done. Top's going to be kind of brown, look a little crispy, melted. It's going to puff up a little bit, and it's not going to be jiggling. No jiggling. So I want to pull out that other one. I'm like, I really wish these could have been done by the end of this class. Well, we do have 5 minutes. You want to talk about what our other wonderful new element is,
Oh, sure,
Alfonso?
sure, definitely. One second. Oops, I'm spotlighting the wrong one. There we go. Okay. So you all, as you all know, the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen has been a huge community advocate for years, actually. And we consider ourselves a blessing to the community. We provide cooking classes for little to nothing. And actually classes like this, classes virtually have been free. So we would like to know if you all would like to be a blessing or advocate to the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen. Feel free to text Be More Kitchen to 41444. Again, that's Be More Kitchen to 41444, and it'll allow you to make a donation if you would like. And it will send you a link, I believe, to your phone. It's quick and easy. You just type in the amount of your donation. It'll send you the link. You'll go on the website, knock it out, no problem. So again, if you would like to be a blessing to the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen, we would greatly appreciate it. We are a big family. Family takes care of family, so we would definitely appreciate it. And thank you.
And Alfonso will type it into the
Yes.
chat box so you can see it. We understand if you can't, or if you can only have, you've got $5. It's all love. It all helps. We're here, and I love having y'all with me, all of you, and you all hold a special place in our hearts. And I know, we are not there together in person, but this way is bringing us together. And don't hesitate to email myself or Alfonso if you have any other questions. And Alfonso, how can you register, if you want to remind them how to register for our classes?
Yes, it's very simple to register for our classes. Well, one, I'll tell you really quick. If you get an email from me at any point in the week, just reminding you of classes, there's a link on there that will tell you to go to baltimorekitchen.heart.org, I believe, or it'll take you to a website that says app.mainstreets.com, which will have a full schedule of all of our fall classes, telling you the time, dates, what we're making, and allow you to register. Upon registering, you'll receive the link to our recipe as well as the link to the Zoom. And then all you have to do is click, get your ingredients, and join us in cooking.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell
Tell your family.
Together, you know, with their, or at home with your family members.
Exactly.
Right.
And November is coming up, you guys. We're going to be doing a lot of holiday-inspired dishes. You won't want to miss this, okay?
Now, I don't know how that's going to happen, but let's see what happens here. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to try to get one out. Yeah. Okay. They should rest a little bit. This one's being a little bugger. A bugger. How about you? And it's hot. And here it comes. There's one. I think you can get more than one serving, obviously, if you're doing it in the little cupcake tin. Oh. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! There we go. I'm so excited. I mean, ideally, you could take it out of the little wrapper if you were putting it on your dish, but it would have to cool off a little bit more. These are looking good too in here. I'm going to show you one. Ah, voila. So that looks delicious. So I put these aside. You can see the Big Daddy on here. And there you have it. Isn't that beautiful?
Get a good close-up.
Again, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I can't wait to see you again in the Heart Kitchen, from my house to yours, to Alfonso's and everybody's. Baltimore and beyond.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.